Hi friends, how are you? Hope you are all fine. So this is the part 3 of my lecture Light Reflection and Refraction. So in this module I am going to discuss about spherical mirrors. In the last class we have been discussing about plane mirrors. Now let us move on to spherical mirrors. Before that, those who haven't yet subscribed our channel, please click the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. Before getting into the topic, let us know what are spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors are those mirrors whose reflecting surface is spherical. That means either the reflecting surface will be curved inward or else the reflecting surface will be curved outward. The mirror, the spherical mirror in which the reflecting surface is curved inward, is known as concave mirror. And the spherical mirror in which the reflecting surface is curved outwards is known as convex mirror. So concave means curved inward and convex means curved outward. And this concave mirror is also known as converging mirror. While convex mirror is also known as diverging mirror. Why this concave mirror is known as converging mirror is that when a beam of light is incident on a concave mirror, they after reflection meet at a point. That means converges at a point. This is the reason why concave mirror is also known as converging mirror. But in the case of convex mirror, which is known as diverging mirror, what happens is when a beam of light is incident on the convex mirror, after reflection, they appear to diverge from a point. This is the reason why convex mirror is also known as diverging mirror. And let me show you one example. If you take a spoon, this is a shiny spoon, a smooth, shiny, polished spoon, and this spoon, in this spoon we can see the concave face as well as the convex face. That is, this side of the spoon, which is curved inward, is a concave mirror, is example for a concave mirror, and this side, it is example for a convex mirror, because this side is curved outwards. So this is about concave and convex mirrors, and we need to know some of the basic terms or definitions regarding spherical mirrors. Let us move into that topic. So in this topic, I will introduce before you some basic but important terms that you need to know. Let us learn some definitions which are important for understanding the spherical mirrors. So before moving into each term, let me draw on the board a concave mirror as well as a convex mirror. So this is a concave mirror. This side of the mirror is the reflecting surface. And next, let me draw before you a convex mirror. In the case of a convex mirror, this side is the reflecting side. Now, this concave mirror and a convex mirror was initially a part of a sphere from which it was cut off. That means this can be represented as a part of a sphere. The convex mirror was initially, concave mirror was initially a part of this sphere, and the convex mirror was also a part of a sphere. The sphere, let me represent using dotted lines. And now each sphere will be having its own center. Similarly, the concave mirror, which was a part of a sphere, the sphere will be having a center. Let me denote it by the letter C. Similarly, this sphere also will have a center. Let me denote it by the letter C. The center of the sphere, of which the concave mirror was a part of, is known as center of curvature of the concave mirror. That is the first term, center of curvature. Center of curvature means what? The center of the sphere of which the spherical mirror was a part of. Here in the case of concave mirror, similarly in the case of convex mirror, the center of the sphere of which the convex mirror was a part of is known as center of curvature of the mirror and not the sphere. And next, this sphere of which the concave mirror was a part of will be having its radius. Let me denote this radius by the letter R. Similarly, in the case of convex mirror also, the sphere will be having a radius. Let me denote this radius by the letter R. And the radius of the sphere of which the spherical mirror was a part of is known as the radius of curvature of the spherical mirror. Radius of curvature. In the case of concave and convex mirror, that means the radius of the sphere of which the concave mirror was a part of is known as radius of curvature of concave mirror. Now let us remove this imaginary sphere. We have two terms and we have discussed its definitions: center of curvature and radius. Pole. What do you mean by pole of a spherical mirror? Pole of a spherical mirror is the midpoint of its reflecting surface. That means what? Here in the case of concave mirror, this is the reflecting surface. This is approximately the midpoint of this reflecting surface and is known as the pole, denoted by P of the concave mirror. Similarly, convex mirror, this is the reflecting surface and the midpoint of the reflecting surface is known as the pole of the convex mirror. Next, let me introduce the next term, that is principal axis. What do you mean by principal axis? Principal axis means it is a straight line joining the pole at the center of curvature. In the case of concave as well as convex mirrors. Here PC is the principal axis. And you may have a confusion whether the radius of curvature is same as the principal axis. No. Radius of curvature means the line PC, the line segment PC is known as the radius of curvature R, but principal axis can be any line joining P and C. This is the principal axis, but PC is the radius of curvature. And in the case of convex mirror also, this is the principal axis. The line joining P and C is known as the principal axis. Next term let us have, that is the aperture. Aperture means the diameter of the reflecting surface. In the case of concave mirror, this is the reflecting surface and the diameter of the reflecting surface is known as aperture. And in the case of convex mirror also, this is the diameter of the reflecting surface known as aperture. Next term what I would like to introduce is principal focus. It's a very important term whose meaning should be known. Principal focus. For teaching you principal focus, let me redraw the diagrams. So let us now discuss what is principal focus. I have redrawn the concave mirror as well as the convex mirror. And what is this line? And now let this be the pole. And let this be the center of curvature. And this line is the principal axis. Similarly, in the case of convex mirror, this is the pole and this is the center of curvature and this line is the principal axis. And in the case of concave mirror, let us imagine that a ray of light is striking the concave mirror and this ray of light is coming from infinity. From infinity, a ray of light is coming and striking the concave mirror. I mean a beam of light. So for simple representation with the help of two rays, let us analyze what happens to the reflected ray. So after striking the mirror, these incident rays get reflected. That means converge. These reflected rays converge at a point. And this point is known as the focus of the concave mirror. So focus means when a beam of light is coming from infinity parallel to the principal axis and striking the reflecting surface, then after reflection, the reflected rays converge at a point and this point is known as the focus of the concave mirror. Similarly, in the case of convex mirror, let us introduce some rays from infinity striking the reflecting surface and after reflection, the reflected rays diverge from a point. So we are extending these lines to get a point, and this is known as the focus of the convex mirror. That means these reflected rays appear to emanate from the focus, appear to come from the focus. That is what we call principal focus. One more time I will repeat. Principal focus means when the ray of light comes from infinity and strikes the concave or convex reflecting surface, then after reflection they meet at a point or appear to come from a point, and that point is known as the principal focus of the spherical mirror. Let it be concave or convex. And the last but important term what I am going to introduce is focal length. The principal focus we have denoted by capital letter F, and focal length we will denote it by small letter f. So let us see what is the focal length. Focal length is nothing but the distance between the focus F and the pole P of the spherical mirror. This distance is known as focal length F. Similarly, here also the distance between the pole P and the principal focus F is known as the focal length of the spherical mirror. There is a very important relation connecting the focal length and radius of curvature. What is the radius of curvature? The distance between the center and the pole. Radius of curvature. Here also the distance between the center and the pole is known as the radius of curvature. The relation connecting F and R is F is equal to R by 2. This is a very important relation. Or R is equal to 2F. That means what? The focus, principal focus, is lying approximately the midway between P and C, or F will be the midpoint of the line PC. This conclusion we are arriving from the equation F is equal to R by 2, and this equation will be valid only for those mirrors having very small apertures. But for mirrors having large apertures, there may be variations. So this is about the different terms and its definition. 7 terms. Center of curvature, radius of curvature, pole, principal axis, aperture, principal focus and focal length. Let us now move into the topic representation of images using ray diagrams. So this reflection of light follows the same rules everywhere. So it is important for us to know that the intersection of at least 2 reflected rays can be used to analyze the position of the image and the size of the image with respect to the object. So at least 2 reflected rays can be considered by us for pointing out where the image formation will take place. But taking more than 2 reflected rays would be of course inconvenient. So in this session, let us learn how to represent images using ray diagrams. For that, we need to know 4 rules. 4 cases we will discuss, and let us see how the image formation takes place in all those 4 cases. First case. Let us consider a ray which is coming parallel to the principal axis. Parallel to principal axis. For that, let us draw one concave mirror as well as a convex mirror. Pole, focus and center of curvature. Pole, focus and center of curvature. A ray is incident on the concave mirror parallel to the principal axis, and let us see how the reflected ray will follow its path and where do the intersection of the ray take place. Rays takes place parallel to principal axis. A ray is incident on the concave mirror parallel to the principal axis. The rule is that after reflection, this ray passes through the focus of the concave mirror. It passes through the focus after reflection. This is the general rule. Similarly, in the case of convex mirror, a ray which is incident on the spherical reflecting surface parallel to the principal axis, after reflection, it actually diverges but this divergent reflected ray appear to come from the focus. This is the rule. When a ray of light is incident parallel to the principal axis, it passes through the focus or appear to come from the focus. Next, second rule we can see, that is, if a ray of light passes through the focus. A ray of light passing through the focus is incident on the reflecting surface. So let me draw one concave mirror PFC. Similarly, one convex mirror PFC. And this light ray is passing through the focus. Passing through the focus means this will be incident on the reflecting surface through the focus. The exact opposite of the first rule take place in the second rule. Here it is parallel to the principal axis, then after reflection passes through the focus. According to this rule, if it is passing through the focus, then after reflection it will be parallel to the principal axis. It will be parallel to the principal axis. Similarly, in the case of a convex mirror, if it is coming in such a way that it appears to meet at the focus, then after reflection, the reflected ray will pass parallel to the principal axis, as in the case of convex mirror. These are the first two rules. Next, let us see another situation where the incident ray is coming through the center of curvature. Third law. Coming through center of curvature. C. Let us see what happens in the case of concave mirror as well as convex mirror. A ray of light is passing through the center of curvature and is incident on the reflecting surface. Then after reflection, what happens is the reflected ray retraces the path. The word that is to be used is retraces. The reflected ray goes along the same path. Why? What would be the reason for that? We have already learnt in the first session that if a ray of light is incident normally on a reflecting surface, actually here it is incident normally on the reflecting surface, then the reflected ray will retrace the path, that is goes along the same path. Because of what? Because angle I is equal to 0, hence angle R also will be equal to 0. Hence it retraces. In the case of convex mirror, what happens? If a ray is such that it is incident on the reflecting surface and appears as if it will meet at the center of curvature, then it will retrace the path. The reflected ray will retrace the path. This is the third case. And the fourth case what we have to discuss is when it is incident on the reflecting surface obliquely. Incident obliquely. Obliquely means what? Slantingly or not in a direct manner. Indirect way it is incident on the reflecting surface. So let us see. In the case of concave mirror, if a ray of light is incident on the reflecting surface obliquely means slantingly, creating an angle I with the principal axis, then after reflection, the reflected ray will pass obliquely, means slantingly, creating an angle R. The thing is, this will also follow the law of reflection. That is, angle I will be equal to angle R. Of course, it will be equal. And in the case of convex mirror also, if a ray of light is incident obliquely on the principal axis, then it will be reflected obliquely. Angle I will be equal to angle R. These are the four major rules for representation of images using ray diagrams. What are they? When a ray of light is incident parallel to principal axis, it will pass through the focus. When it is passing through the focus, then after reflection passes parallel to the principal axis. Third case, when it is passing through the center of curvature, after reflection the reflected ray retraces the path. And the fourth one is when a ray of light is incident obliquely on the principal axis and after reflection the reflected ray passes obliquely. So this is all about today's class. So those who liked my video, please click the like button. And those who haven't yet subscribed our channel, please do subscribe our channel. And in the next class, we will be discussing about image formation by concave and convex mirrors.